Good morning, everyone. I am Himesh Singhal. Hello. Hello. Please increase the volume of this one. Hello. Hello. Yes. All right. Thank you. Good morning again, everyone. I am Himesh Singhal,
And I am Molly Srivastava.
and we welcome you all to NSB Energy and Sustainability Conclave 2025. We are all gathered here for a 3 day enriching energy and sustainability conclave. NESCON is a flagship event of NTPC School of Business. It was started in 2023, and this is the second time we are hosting this event. It is aimed to engage young minds in meaningful dialogues on global energy and sustainability challenges.
NESCON 2023 saw 80 plus participants from various institutes who participated in three committees, namely MOC UNFCCC Corp, MOC Niti Aayog, and MOC International Press. It was a 2 day event which engaged handsome number of alumnus participation also.
But this time around, it is different.
And how so?
This time, there will be 8 engaging sessions spanning over 3 days. We also have a prize pool of more than 70,000 rupees. And at the end, we will have a felicitation ceremony, grand alumni meet, and a gala evening organized by our very own cultural club, OJAS.
We have on the dais Mr. John Mathai, Secretary General, Damodar Valley Corporation, Chief Patron NESCON and Director NTPC School of Business, Dr. Rajeshwari Narendran, Dean NTPC School of Business, Dr. P.P. Kulkarni, Professor NSB, Dr. A.P. Das, Head of Conclave NESCON and Professor NSB, Dr. Gopi Chandran, and Convener NESCON and Professor NSB, Dr. Prashant Jha on the dais. Now we will proceed with the lighting of the lamp. I request the dais to come forward and light the lamp.
We request the gathering to rise up for the NSB anthem.
हम ऊर्जा से उत्प्रेरित, हम ऊर्जा को समर्पित, देश सेवा कर्म निहित, अक्षय ऊर्जा में प्रतिबिंबित, मेधा नेतृत्व चरित्र कल्पित, विज्ञान नवाचार सदचरित, शोध सिद्ध ज्ञान सुसज्जित, प्रशिक्षण कौशल में त्वरित, सौर पवन वायु जल रश्मित, पृथ्वी की संपदा से सिंचित, प्रकाश पुंज में प्रदीप्त, संकल्प कर्मों में हरित, राष्ट्र हित में ही निगमित, शांति विकास पर आधारित, अनंत असीम सतत संचालित, ब्रह्मांड धरोहर के संधारित, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय लक्षित, प्रबद्ध प्रज्ञा प्रबोध दीक्षित, हम ऊर्जा रक्षा से उदित, हम ऊर्जा से अभिप्रेरित, हम ऊर्जा को समर्पित।
Today, as the chief guest, we have Mr. John Mathai, Secretary General, Damodar Valley Corporation. Mr. Mathai joined DVC as Member Secretary in 2022. He has done MA in Personal Management and Industrial Relations from Mahatma Gandhi University, Kerala. Apart from this, he has also acquired LLB degree from Delhi University, an MBA from Jamia Millia University, New Delhi, and PhD from IIT Delhi. He joined NTPC in the year 1990 and has worked in various capacities and responded in different field formations of NTPC. He has also worked as HR in thermal plants, hydro projects, regional headquarters, and in joint venture companies of NTPC. Ma'am, we request you to kindly felicitate sir.
Now I request Dr. Gopi Chandran sir to felicitate our madam.
Now, I would like to invite the convener, NESCON, Dr. Prashant Jha, to deliver the opening address.
Good morning, everyone. Distinguished guests, members of Executive Board, respected delegates, dear participants, and faculty and staff of NSB. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to NESCON 2025. At the outset, I would like to extend a warm and special welcome to our esteemed guests, mentors who have joined us today. It is an honor to have with us our distinguished chief guest, John Mathai sir, our director ma'am, Dr. Rajeshwari Narendran, Dean sir, NSB, Dean NSB PP Kulkarni sir, AP Dash sir, and R Gopi Chandran sir. It is my privilege to extend a warm welcome to all of you to the NSB Energy and Sustainability Conclave, or NESCON 2025. NESCON is a mock UNF CCC COP simulation that brings together delegates from energy sector to discuss and negotiate solutions to energy and sustainability issues. Our aim is to foster leadership, critical thinking, and policy advocacy among our students. Today marks the beginning of an inspiring conclave as we come together to discuss, deliberate, and derive actionable solutions for a more sustainable future. This is a 3-day event. Day one, after the opening ceremony, It will be followed by the discussion of the agenda for the day among the respective committees. The day will be concluded by a roundtable conference on women in energy, present challenges and future implications. Day 2 will start with the discussions on agenda for the day, followed by policy formation discussions with respective committees. The day will be concluded by an industry expert feedback session. The third day will begin by concluding speeches by the delegates and voting session to pass the policy framework, followed by the industry academia session to review the drafted policy. This session will be followed by the NESCON prize distribution and closing ceremony. And the event will be concluded by a cultural evening, a band performance, which is organized by OJAS Arts and Culture Club of NSB. The organization of this event is the result of dedicated efforts of our exceptional organizing committee members. Our students have worked really hard to make this possible. Leading this team, we have Aman Chaturvedi, the Secretary General of NESCON and Head of Samvad, which is Media and Marketing Club of NSB. Then we have Ashutosh Behra, Head of Gyan Urja and Organizing Committee, Planning, Academics and Content. Then Malarsi Solanki, Head of Alumni Association Club and Organizing Committee, Alumni and Industrial Engagement. Hemish Singhal, Head of Awaz Club and Organizing Committee of Training and Ceremony. Ankit Jha, Head of Akshaya, Environmental and Sustainability Club and Organizing Committee of Operations and Planning. Dushyant Pratap Singh, Head and Organizing Committee of Social Media and Outreach. And there are some students in the Organizing Committee in the junior batch. A special mention to Sukraj Singh Sapal, Srishti Prasad, Ankit Das, and Yasub Raja. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our student team for their hard work and dedication in organizing this event. Thank you all for your presence today. I wish you all a stimulating and productive conclave. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prashant, sir. Now I call upon the stage Dr. A.P. Das, sir, Professor NSB, to address the audience. So please.
Very good morning to all of you. Our esteemed guest, Dr. Janmathai Saab, our director, madam, and Dean Sir, Professor Gopi, my esteemed colleagues who are sitting before me, and my dearest students who has left no stone unturned to see that this kind of conclave happens and has a ripple in the industry. Now, when we talk of the sustainability, I think the whole world is debating over the same. And by sheer coincidence, we are having a kind of conclave here where the entire world is moving towards the net zero. Every company on earth has a ESG report, and they clearly mandated to say, document what the initiative they have been taken for the sustainability. And as a student of the energy management, you have been taught in the class about the sustainability, net zero, climate in the entire value chain. So what I'm saying is that as a company also, NTPC is moving very far ahead with the entire clause of the sustainability. We have a very high scoring of the ESG report. Now, second thing is that very recently might have heard that we have a hydrogen plant coming up in Ladakh, and hydrogen bus will ply in Ladakh, Port Blair. You'll be happy to know that one bus will be plying from here to Greater Noida. So if you want to go to Netra, you go by bus, that bus, and many other areas in the country, just to showcase how good would be the transportation in hydrogen. So one is tested as a pilot study. I think many things will follow onwards. And every company might have seen that going for the hydrogen So tomorrow it will be a hydrogen economy for us. So these are the targets we have. And I very strongly feel that this kind of conclave goes in a long way to help us build that knowledge base in the domain. We have a 3 days engagement. Many people from the industry will come. One of the star of the industry, Mr. John Mathai Saab, is with us today. He himself has taken many initiatives to make DVC look very green. DVC is a very good organization. It is a multi-purpose. Probably we in power sector think that only power and energy is our domain. DVC is one in the country which has irrigation as well. It has a portfolio irrigation, farmer focus. It has many things. So DVC was, I think, on the TVC, Tennessee Valley. This was Nehru's vision. The company was formed. They're doing a extreme good work. And Dr. Mathai is taking to the next level this company. So this is, we're very happy to have sir today to address you. So some of the things I'm trying to put before you is that there is no way we can escape sustainability today. And next to the poverty in the world, I think energy is the big issue where everybody is trying to dominate the entire arena to say something. So with these words, I try to complete myself. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Dean Sir P.P. Kulkarni to the podium to deliver a few words.
थैंक यू। नव वर्ष की सभी को शुभकामनाएं। मथाई साहब, आपको नए वर्ष में एनएसबी के साथ में जुड़ने का बहुत बड़ा हमें एक सौभाग्य मिला। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और नए वर्ष आपके लिए अच्छा हो। नेस्कॉम का ये इवेंट नए वर्ष के लिए बहुत ही बड़ा इवेंट है। हमारे बच्चे सस्टेनेबिलिटी के साथ जुड़ना चाहते हैं। इसके दो पहलू हैं। पहला तो विषय का ज्ञान, किस प्रकार से किया जाएगा, क्या होगा। दूसरा, जब हम किसी फोरम में पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं तो वो कहाँ सीखेंगे। जैसे हम मैदान में जाते हैं, खेल सीखते हैं, तो वहाँ पता है ये इवेंट है जहाँ से आपका प्लेटफॉर्म है। प्रोफेशनल कैरियर में किस प्रकार से डिबेट होती हैं, डिबेट होंगी, कॉन्क्लेव्स होंगे, विचार विमर्श होगा। उसका पहला एक पहलू होता है कि क्या हमने दूसरे की बात सुनी, उस पर मंथन किया और फिर अपना ओपिनियन दिया। एक बहुत अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म मैडम ने हम लोगों के लिए दिया है, हमारे बच्चों को दिया है। धन्यवाद मैडम। जो कैरियर में डेवलपमेंट होता है बच्चों का, आप कभी कभी देखते होंगे डिबेट में कुछ लोग बहुत अच्छा बोलते हैं, सबकी बातें सुनते हैं, मंथन करके फिर बोलते हैं। ये एक आपके लिए प्रैक्टिस सेशन है, बहुत अच्छा करेंगे। हमारी तरफ से आपको शुभकामनाएं। अपने विचारों को खुले दिल से रखिए। विचार अलग हो सकते हैं, अपोजिट नहीं हो सकते हैं, क्योंकि मेरा मानना है कि मुझे ऐसा लगता है, जो मैंने देखा है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। ओवर ए पीरियड ऑफ टाइम जब सिंथेसिस होता है, सभी विचारों को मिलान होता है, जैसे है कि एट द एंड ऑफ द सेशन कॉन्क्लेव सबको कंपाइल करके एक्सपर्ट्स के ओपिनियन के साथ में कि इसको किस प्रकार से देखा जाए। बिकॉज ज्ञान अपनी जगह पे है, अनुभव भी अपनी जगह पे है। कुछ चीज़ें होती है जो कि इस प्रकार से चलेंगी तो वो एक्सपर्ट्स उसमें कंट्रीब्यूट करेंगे। हम आशा करते हैं कि हमारे साथ में जो एक्सपर्ट्स जुड़ेंगे बहुत ही अच्छा मार्गदर्शन देंगे हमारे बच्चों को, वो पथ प्रदर्शक रहेंगे। और ये जो कॉन्क्लेव है ये आगे फ्यूचर के लिए किस प्रकार से देश को आगे बढ़ना है वो हमें एक मार्गदर्शन देगी। हमने जब सेक्टर ज्वाइन किया था, मथाई साहब, हम लोग सब जब ज्वाइन किए थे सेक्टर्स में, उस समय कोयला ही था। हमारी जो हाईएस्ट कैपेसिटी यूनिट थी वो 500 मेगावाट थी। बट अब आप उसको भूल चुके हो। अब 500 मेगावाट आप सोलर सोच रहे होंगे। तो क्या परिवर्तन हुआ, क्या चेंजेस हुए, इमिशंस की किस प्रकार की समस्याएं होंगी। पहले अलग प्रकार की समस्याएं थी, इस प्रकार की अलग प्रकार की पहले ऐश करते थे, ऐश की समस्या थी, अभी फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी की समस्या है। अभी मैं रिसेंटली आईआईटी हैदराबाद में एक इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ था, इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स रिसर्च हब। The need has been felt across the globe. Resources are distributed. Many resources are not with us. The time has come when everybody has to come together. Everybody means globally people have to come together, share their resources, their knowledge, and see that the earth sustains. तो बहुत अच्छा मार्गदर्शन है। हम प्रयास कर रहे हैं। उसमें जो मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी के प्रोफेसर है, who is the founder of that research hub, we have requested him to come to our institute, address you people, what are the things going on as per the sustainability concern, because one of the major issue is supply chain. सप्लाई चेन इफेक्ट होती है तो बहुत बड़ा इशू है, उसके लिए कैसे एड्रेस करना है, क्या रिसर्च होंगे, किस प्रकार से लोग सोच रहे हैं, एक बहुत बड़ा हमें एक इनपुट मिलेगा। इस आशा के साथ कि ये बहुत अच्छा कॉन्क्लेव हुआ, आई वेलकम मथाई साहब। ही हैज स्पेयर्ड हिज वैल्यूएबल टाइम इन स्पाइट ऑफ वेरी बिजी शेड्यूल, बिकॉज बोर्ड के साथ में बहुत मुश्किल होता है समय निकालना, बट वी आर थैंकफुल टू यू सर। और मैडम एक कदम इंडिया में एक कदम इंटरनेशनल, रात को आई है, सवेरे मेरे पास फोन आया कि आई एम रेडी, हम लोग उतने समय पहुंचेंगे। दैट इज द कमिटमेंट। हमें भी अपने लाइफ में वही कमिटमेंट दिखा देगा, हम हमारे बच्चे भी दिखाएंगे आगे कमिटमेंट। समय से पहले समय की अपनी कीमत है। जैसे हम ये कॉन्फ्लेव समय पे कर रहे हैं, इसका पहले की बहुत ज़्यादा परिस्थितियां बिगड़ जाती हैं उसको करते हैं, तो ऐसा ही समय का कुछ समय बलवान होता है। तो है तो थैंक यू मैडम फॉर पेयरिंग सच ए वैल्यूएबल टाइम कि इसमें आपने वो किया। बाकी झा जी बैठे हुए हैं, एकदम यंग साइंटिस्ट एंड कंट्रीब्यूटर टू सोसाइटी, तो उसके मार्गदर्शन में इन्होंने कैसे ऑर्गेनाइज किया है वो करेंगे। एंड आई वेलकम यू ऑल टू दिस फोरम एंड लेट अस लर्न, आई विल आल्सो लर्न मेनी थिंग्स फ्रॉम दिस एंड विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट इन दिस वर्क। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. I would now invite Dr. Rajeshwari Narendran ma'am, Chief Patron NESCON and Director NSB, to address the gathering. Ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Can I have a better good morning from my students, my cheerleaders? Good morning. Yes, because I need to know that you are alive. Basically, what happens is that the moment we start sitting, there is something, a syndrome takes over us, and we start thinking that, Abhi, this is a good time that I should catch up with my messages on WhatsApp. Or should I take care of whatever my social media handles are? I don't want you to be doing that. I really want you to learn. NTPC School of Business, Energy and Sustainability Conclave was designed in a way by Professor Gautam. Last year, we did the first of our NESCON, where we decided that mock UN and mock Niti Aayog would be done here, so that the students get the exposure that how the discussions take place in United Nations when there is a dedicated slot for you to speak up on behalf of that country. Also, during the Niti Aayog discussions, they come to know about the India representation within Niti Aayog and within the states. How do you talk? How do you bring up the issues, challenges, and what is your perspective on that? This requires a bit of preparation from the student side when they are at the mock UN, because few of you would be representing different countries, and how are you going to present it there as it needs a kind of preparation. So it puts you into that perspective. I know your examinations were just finished the day before. I also know that the PlaceCom is going on. A few students are engaged and few professors are engaged in the PlaceCom activities across just here. And also that our executive batch students, who number around 51, have gone back to their project sites, and that's why there's an online streaming going on through which they have joined. But nonetheless, I know we may be small, but I know that more than number, it is the impact that we can create. Sometimes small is beautiful. It is very, very important that we feel that even in small number, if we can do something which is very important, something which is very valuable, something which gives an impact assessment in our own minds that where we stand today, and what can be our future. With net zero targets, with 48% of target shift towards renewable energy, it is round the corner if we look, though the years may span, year 32 is not very far away. But what's our preparation? We at NTPC School of Business call our students as energy warriors, because it's important that it changes in our mind. The action is in our mind, and the actions are in our hands. That what we do, it has to be an important aspect in our lives. Also, I would like to tell here that yesterday we were leading the panel, NTPC School of Business was leading the panel discussion at the Sustainability Conference of Academy of Global Business Research and Practice, represented by 119 universities across the globe. AJBRP is a big consortium. At Dubai, I'm very happy to announce that our panel discussion was adjudged as the best panel session. So this good news I wanted to give to you. There definitely I saw that more than 50 country participants were discussing, deliberating, and also we were bringing in the issues that what can be done. And how are we looking at the challenges and prospects which are going to be there for the entire world? Because we all are concerned not for today, but maybe for my grandchildren, I am going to be worried about that. What kind of a world we are going to leave for them? Are they going to live always in masks? Are they going to run their lives always through the hospital? With the kind of pollution, the kind of carbon emissions, with the kind of, the lifestyles that we are having today, are we going to lead them to become the slaves of technology? Are we going to make them to, rise to the occasion and be something greater than what we have done? Are they going to go back to the basic of the Stone Age or the Mud Age? Are they going to go back to that? That's major pertaining questions are there. But ये हमारी जनरेशन और आप जो हमारे सामने स्टूडेंट्स के रूप में बैठे हैं, हम दोनों ही जनरेशन्स के हाथ में आज तो है, लेकिन आने वाले कल की जिम्मेदारियों का बोझ हमारे कंधे पर कहीं ज्यादा है. हम इस बात को अगर आज समझ लें कि whatever actions we are going to do today are going to, impact the future. एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत शेर बोला है कि कुछ ऐसे लम्हे हुए हैं तवारीख की नज़रों में. तवारीख is the time, the era. कुछ ऐसे लम्हे हुए हैं तवारीख की नज़रों में जब लम्हों ने, क्षणों ने, यानी पलों ने खता की थी और सदियों ने सजा पाई. यानी just a momentary mistake has paid many generations of, effort to sustain that. Whatever mistake you have done, to correct that mistake, it has taken centuries, it has taken years, and it has taken more and more and decades and people and their lives. We do not want to be remembered in the history of mankind as a generation who killed our prospects. ये बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी है हमारे ऊपर. रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी बहुत अच्छा है, ग्रीन टेक्नोलॉजी थॉट बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन सिर्फ ये दिल बहलाने के लिए नहीं है, ये एक्शन करने के लिए है, काम करने के लिए है. ग्राउंड लेवल पर, ग्रास रूट लेवल पर एटीट्यूडनल शिफ्ट्स, एक टेक्टोनिक शिफ्ट की ज़रूरत है. अगर वो हम नहीं करते हैं आज, तो कहीं ना कहीं हम अपनी जिम्मेदारियों से भाग रहे हैं. मैं समझ सकती हूँ कि आपके लिए कुछ भारी भरकम शब्द होंगे ये, लेकिन reality is this: we have to adopt, we have to do the adoption as well as mitigation strategies where we can take up the challenges on our hand and align the qualities of head, heart, and hand and promote the best of the actions which we can do collectively through collective wisdom, through collective efforts, by making even the bottom of the pyramid inclusive. We have this action to be taken as much as we can. With all the good wishes, I wish the NESCON a wonderful success. I again reiterate that I feel my responsibility, that I wish all the students were here of NTPC School of Business. For whatever reason they are not attending or they are not here, we will speak about it later. However, I take the onus to my chief guest that, sir, we would have been better represented, but due to certain reasons, they are not here. And I take that onus, being the person. They have called me chief patron, but I know that I am only the chief servant here. But definitely, it's my responsibility. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we will have our chief guest, Dr. John Mathai, to address the gathering.
Announcing an award.
Yeah.
The student who brings all the notes points that what Mathai sir has given will give a wonderful gift from me. I'm not giving a small chota mota award. I'm going to give you a wonderful award for this. Any student who brings all the points of what Mathai sir is going to speak about. Yep.
Yeah.
So start with your copy pen.
Thank you. On the dais, most respected Director, NTPC School of Business, Dr. Rajeshwari, the Dean of NSB, Sri P.P. Kulkarni, my esteemed Professor, Dr. A.P. Dash, Professor Gopi Chandran, Professor Prashant Jha on the dais, and off the dais, the faculties of NSB, my earlier friends and colleagues, the administrators of NSB, and most importantly, the boys and girls and the future of the country, the students of NTPC School of Business. A warm good morning to all of you, and wish you a happy new year. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Rajeshwari and her team for inviting me to have this great opportunity and a very blissful morning today to get an opportunity to interact with the academia led by Dr. Rajeshwari, Mr. Kulkarni, Professor A.P. Dash, and all the team members, and getting an opportunity to interact with the young minds. I was so thrilled to hear from Dr. Rajeshwari that this particular conclave that all of you together are organizing, and especially through the organizing committee constituted by students. And this particular conclave is designed in the concept of the platform, the technology or the methodology which is used in United Nations, Niti Aayog, and other policy making levels. So it's a great opportunity for all of us to think and envision our activities for the future of the nation as also the future of the planet. Since United Nations was in the context of the speech which was given by Dr. Rajeshwari, Dr. Dash, as well as Mr. Kulkarni, the reality that looms large before us is something different when we look at the past and when we look at the present and future. As per the poet and story writer H.P. Hartley, he says that past is a foreign country. Because in the past, even though we may have been there in the past, we find that people do things differently there. So when you look at our immediate past, say in terms of the sustainability itself, when you look at, say, Kyoto Protocol or Paris Agreement of 2015, and what happened, the commitment that we made to ourselves in Glasgow, the COP26, and the recent COP29, which concluded in Baku, Azerbaijan, we find that in the past, what we did, what we were there, and then we were very seriously thinking about our future. And what we're doing in the present is just the opposite. We decided that from a pre-industrialization era, we will not allow the global temperature to rise beyond 1.5 degrees of temperature. Now, what has happened in 2024 is that for momentarily we breached that mark. The 1.5 degree rise we have already surpassed momentarily in the last year. And this year, it is predicted that we might touch even 1.55 with the kind of, the kind of way in which the things are progressing. And what happens when such a situation happens? Why we decided in the past that we should limit ourselves to 1.5? Because we knew that any breaching of this particular, this mark will irreversibly make the changes to the globe. Something which we had been observing. As recent as yesterday, people had been running in, you found in Los Angeles, people were running out of their, even the wealthiest were running out of their home and then seeking some refuge. We had been witnessing floods, we have been witnessing droughts, extremely heated temperatures. Earlier, Death Valley was only in California. Now, these Death Valleys are particularly places where temperature rise beyond 50. So we already achieved, even as even Rajasthan this year, somewhere in November 24, we have reached that 50 degree. There was some talk about Delhi itself has crossed 50 degrees in the last summer, but they have later proved that that was not technically true. But we are on the path of this. If you look at many countries, say in many parts of Africa, even in Italy, we are finding that things are moving towards the, the temperature of the Death Valley, that is 50 degrees and more. This is one reality. Now, when we look at things, is there any solution to all of this? Because we knew that even though we gave a commitment to ourselves for making a sustainable world, giving a commitment that we will not allow the pre-industrial temperature beyond a particular degrees. Also committing ourselves that the developed nations will support the risk and damage fund to the developing nations by way of allowing the kind of equitable growth. We find that the things are far from reality. The recent elections in US itself has shown that these commitments are likely to go to the dustbin. Now, in a situation like this, it appears to me that even the VUCA world that we had been talking about is something of the past. That we had been talking that world is becoming volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous. Now, people are talking about BANI, that is brittle, anxiety-oriented, non-linear, and completely incomprehensible. That kind of a situation we are migrating into. Now, in a particular situation like this, what exactly is in front of us, especially for the policymakers or the students now you are thinking in terms of policy, what exactly bring forth some relief to the entire system? Now, I personally come from currently in the board of Damodar Valley Corporation, which operates 6 thermal power plants, 4 large dams, 8,000 kilometers of transmission and distribution networks, and roughly around 4,000 kilometers of river waterways, and also mining, solar, and a mix of all these things. Primarily, I also represent a polluting industry. Now, the power sector itself, if you look at it, the 450 gigawatts of energy that we produce, that we have, that we have set up in the country, the capacity that we have erected for the country, out of this 450 gigawatts, as all of you know, that majority of it, more than 50%, comes from the fossil base. The generation, if you look at it, 1,700 billion units of energy that we produce on a year-to-year basis, more than 50% comes from the fossil, and out of which majority is also coal-based. Now, we know that the kind of growth that we are expecting for the country, the electricity is one of the primary engines of growth. That's the driver. So if the country currently, all of you know that GDP growth, is around the tune of around 6.57%, real GDP growth. And the electricity generation is also towards the tune of 8% and 9%. We find that when we will be growing this fashion, when the country is growing, and for the growth of the country, when we produce electricity in this kind of rate of growth, more coal-based generation is going to come. And the current target itself is around 90,000 megawatts of further coal-based energy, which is going to come in our country. So when we see this particular situation, that we are going, again, we are also progressing on the fossil base. At the same time, there is renewables, but there is a growth. Now, when we look at it, what exactly you are visualizing in front of you? At one time, on the one side, you are talking about sustainability, global warming, net zero. On the other hand, we are also setting up thermal plants. Now, this is some kind of a hard reality for which a global kind of perspective is required. If you look at the country that we are, 140 crores of people in the country, a huge demographics. We have almost crossed China in terms of population. Even though we say that the replacement level is much lower than that had been in last 10 years, but still we are having a great population. And that is causing a lot of pressure on all the resources, including land, water, electricity, all kind of resources. It is giving a pressure. And as all of you know, if any country wants to develop, each of the individual needs to develop, they need energy, they need electricity, they need power. And if you look at the per capita consumption of electricity, we will find that each of us in the country is consuming, in the past, say 10 years back, how much? Yeah, 1,300 units. 10 years back, say 2014, 15, how much it was? Yeah, it's only 500 units. So from 500, we have, more than double the current consumption. But even this consumption of 1,300 units per capita is much, much lower when you compare to the developed country. In the US, it's almost 10 times that you consume. That is the per capita there. And if you look at China, it's almost 4 times that you consume. So, if you want to become, say, 5 trillion economy, if you want to become a developed economy by 2047, there is no other way that you can stop this growth momentum. So you need to grow. Now, currently, the thought process, the thinkers, the think tanks, they think that this temporary addition of fossil fueled economy in which we had been growing, that had been our base, is perhaps required for a short while, say up to say 2030, for us to take up the momentum of the growth. In order to reach that developing and developed nation target, we need to grow in that way. At the same time, we also need to bring up alternative methodologies and alternate ways of growing. So when you come to this kind of reality, the global reality, the national truth about things, we find that there are certain ways in which now we need to grow. At the same time, when we set out the momentum based on the current base level. One thing is what Dr. Rajeshri also told about, is about that renewable kind of growth that we need to set up. It is a good news that if you look at the growth pattern in solar, in wind, we find that the growth is around a very good percentage, 10%, 30%, that kind of growth is taking place, despite the the seasonal nature of those kind of energy bases. This is one way, and we have committed that another 500 gigawatts of energy will be coming from the non-fossil based resources. Another thing which is coming up significantly is about huge investment in green hydrogen, which can perhaps take away the energy needs on a totally different platform. That is the way the nation as well as many countries in the world are thinking. Instead of also depending on the land for resources, people are very consciously from 2010 onwards, after that book of blue economy came into being, people also think about exploring the vast resources of minerals embedded in the sea coasts, oceans and seas. And India is luckily having this more than 7,000 kilometers of the coastal base we have. So these are perhaps some of the ways in which technologically we can try to address these issues of sustainability, which we are all currently doing, but only thing we need to give more momentum to those aspects of growth. The second aspect which I would like to touch upon is about to bring in this growth, bring in this along with sustainability. We need to take the entire society together. If you look at the Indian demographics of this 140, 145 crores of people, we find that there is a demographic dividend for the country, which is a boon for us because we can become some kind of a supplier of skills to the world while other countries are, aging. This is one side of it. But at the same time, as all of you are aware, that the employment growth, especially with the advent of new technologies, artificial intelligence, we find that employment growth is not as per the growth which were happening in the industry as a whole, which is also causing a major issue as to the social economics of things, the social balancing of growth, which is a major thing which we need to take care when we are doing this, when we are studying the growth strategy based on technology and the growth levers. So this is one aspect. There are many facets of it. There are many ways of looking at it. Some people say that it is better to control the population to control the economy. So they will controlling the population will control the economy is one way of the human biologist, the social biologist, etc. thinking about. Another way is that looking at this particular asset of human resource, as Satya Nadella was speaking yesterday, perhaps this is perhaps the greatest dividend that India has. Now, when he is talking about it, he is talking about the skills, the skill set that is coming out of the human resource. That is one thing which we all should be aware, such that our human resource, this 144 crores of people, this human dividend should come with adequate skills and capabilities. So, imparting of education, providing opportunities, giving them inclusive environment, all kind of whether it is social, neural, any kind of inclusions, diversity needs to be there in place when we talk about sustainability from the societal platform. The last and not the least, which I would like to touch upon, the behavioral aspects of sustainability. And as all of you are aware, and when you look at the, if you say open the power sector, Ministry of Power website itself, you will find that 3-4 acts at the beginning. Even starting with the DVC Act of 1948, then you will find that Electricity Act 2003. And there is also one important act there, which is been put at the front, at the top, is about the Energy Conservation Act. So now the behavioral aspects of bringing in this kind of growth is talking about, not about, careless consumption. It is actually talking about very careful, purpose-oriented consumption of all the resources. So this is some behavioral change that we need to bring in. When we talk about the growth of the country in terms of private consumption, there is also need to consume things in a way which will produce, which will give further dividend to the thing. The skills that we use, the talents that we invest, the money that we put in should not get consumed and go away. It should actually bring in more. That dividend, that marginal utility has to come from each and every activity that we do, whether in our studies, when we work. Those incremental improvements should come in terms of daily innovations in every aspects of your life. So this is the last and final message which I would like to give at the end of, I think I've taken pretty long time. So I would like to call upon all the students who are gathered here to think in, when you are thinking about the policy framework, when you design the growth strategies, you should also be equally considerate about the societal and behavioral strategies associated with the changes that we are envisaging and the growth that we are dreaming. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you once again for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for laying the foundation of this event with those words. Now, I call upon the stage my colleague and Secretary General NESCON, Aman Chaturvedi, to introduce the Executive Board.
Hello and good morning, everyone. It's my privilege and honor to welcome everyone to the NSB Energy and Sustainability Conclave 2025. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest of honor, Dr. John Mathai, sir, our respected director, ma'am, and the head of the conclave, Dr. Gopi Chandran, sir, and the convener of the conclave, Prashant Jha, sir, with our dean, PP Kulkarni, sir, and AP Dash, sir. And I would like to thank everyone for their highest of the support to make this event a reality. As a Secretary General of this event, it's my duty and privilege to introduce our distinguished Executive Board members. Every great journey begins with a great leadership. And today, we are fortunate to have exceptional leaders to guide our conclave as Executive Boards. Let's begin with the International Committee, the Model UNFCCC COP. Introducing first, Mr. Tejaswi Rana, a PhD scholar from IIT Delhi, specializing in battery storage systems as the chairperson of the committee. Please, we can have a big round of applause for Mr. Tejaswi Rana. Alongside him, we have Ms. Manisha Sen Gupta from Sampark Foundation with expertise in sustainability, CSR, communications, and ESG frameworks as the president of the committee. Please, we can have a big round of applause for Manisha. Moving to the National Committee, the Model Parliamentary Panel on Sustainable Development Goals which we have called the mock Niti Ayog, we are proud to have Mr. Pratik Biswas, the Deputy Chief Finance at the Central Electricity Regulatory Commission, CERC, which is an apex regulatory body for the electricity sector in India, as the chairman of the committee. Supporting him, we have Mr. Harshit Tandon, who brings his expertise and leadership as the president of the committee. And moving forward, they will guide the delegates to debate and deliberate on issues of national importance and sustainable developments. Now let's head to the international press photography. Leading this team, we have Mr. Siddharth Singh, a professional photographer working with a prestigious brands such as Fashion Design Council of India, Mercedes, and BMW, along with the celebrated designers like Abhinav Mishra. He joins us as the head of the photography. Please, we can have a big round of applause for Siddharth Singh. Lastly, for the international press reporting, I will introduce Dr. Bharat Kumar, a former journalist at Hindustan Times with over 30 years of experience as the chairperson of the committee. Although he is unable to join us in person due to urgent commitments, he will be available shortly via video conferencing to fulfill his roles. Thank you to all executive board members for dedicating their time and expertise to NESCON. Together, with your leadership and participation of our delegates, we are ready to create impactful discussion and transformative outcomes. Welcome all to NESCON 2025 and thank you for bearing me for such a long time. हम ऊर्जा से प्रेरित, हम ऊर्जा को समर्पित. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Aman, for introducing the executive board. Now I request our director, ma'am, to hand over a memento as a vote of thanks to our guest of honor. Before kickstarting the event, let us pay respects to our country and rise up for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you.
I request our director, madam, to declare the meet open.
Now I call upon the stage head of conclave, Dr. Gopi Chandran sir, to deliver a vote of thanks. So please.
Namaskar, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I thought I should walk up to Matai Saab before coming here, but then, I said, let me announce my appreciation for him over the mic. Do you know why you deserve this appreciation? Because, we hardly come across people who speak without looking at notes. That was wonderful. Yeah. When I thought I must place that on record rather than whispering it in your ears. Fantastic. This is great. The person on your right, Dr. Dash, very often keeps talking about interacting with you, and the hydropower industry in particular. And that takes me to one important aspect of why this wanting to coming together. Beyond whatever was said, ma'am, incidentally, there were 19 important points, that have come up, and I'm not angling for the prize, she's thinking of.
So please do not speak those 19 points.
I love this
request.
chaos. I love this chaos. I love this chaos, and I'm repeating it for the third time. I'll hand over my notes to you.
Yes,
That should
so
be
that I can
fine.
check with them. I was also noting it down.
I'm sure they will be better than mine. They'll be far better than mine. In addition to the lovely names of people who Prashant and others referred to, there's one person here in our midst who Dr. Our director, ma'am, brought here. And she's from Terry. Shruti Singh, maybe you should put your hand up. Shruti is working on principles of equity, justice, gender mainstreaming in the energy context. Now, why am I saying all this as part of a vote of thanks? This is to say that after all, you as individuals are at the core of any transformation. And no transformation ever will happen if hypocrisy prevails. And what is this hypocrisy? We expect everybody to change without ourselves changing. It simply just doesn't work at all. It is the credibility of the communicator that alone will be able to transform societies. I'm not a leftist or a communist, but very sad to say that we often say our motherland is poor. India is a poor country, but Indians are rich. I think, we should be very clear in what we want to say and how we want to address these transitions. And therefore, Matai Sahab, you'll be glad, that what will be discussed here, I know I've taken 1.5 out of my 2 minutes. What is important here is going beyond the net zero to what is called fake zero. Net zero to fake zero. And what is now being discussed is net zero to absolute zero. Net zero to absolute zero. And one important thing that DVC can take away from this very important meeting is absolute zero is not only about balancing the emissions you generate, but also grabbing the emissions beyond what you generate. And this is possible through what Dr. Dash and others want to bring to you. And that is about, please mark if it is possible, it's called the Kunming-Montreal Protocol. It's about integrated mitigation. It's not adaptation, please, it's adaptation. Please remember, integrated mitigation and adaptation. Allow us to come to you, you will get more than what you ask for. Yeah, and that I think is the spirit of what this wonderful meeting stands for. One Professor Otto Scharmer of MIT. I wish I could refer to Mukunda Murari and others from within our own country, but sadly, I'm not jingoistic, but I have to refer to Otto Scharmer from MIT. What does he say, Why do we collectively produce results nobody wants? 90% of whatever we do is simple hot air. And that means we need test beds where solutions are demonstrated for the feasibility, economic, social, and technical feasibility. Challenge me if I'm wrong, we cannot talk of a technology fix because we are not clear about limits and limitations of technologies. And therefore, I think DVC and other companies should come forward and say, we will provide the necessary leadership. I've spilled all our beans. Give us the chance and we'll take you to the stratosphere. That's not a problem at all. We'll happily work on these. Bani was something wonderfully referred to. Brittle, anxious, non-linear, and incomprehensible, going beyond VUCA. We will sound more intelligent towards the end of the conclave. Thank you. We must all thank our motherland for giving us this wonderful opportunity to serve her. And this is mainly for my wonderful kids. You all know I call you all kids. Please do not ditch our country. She doesn't want hypocrites anymore. She wants people who live the value of integrity and ones who say, look, yes, I'm here to serve you and I'm not here to exploit you. Please remember this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We will try our best to sound more intelligent at the end of the meet.
we come to an end to the opening ceremony. Thank you all for being such a patient audience and lending us your ears. Now I request the student volunteers to escort the delegates and executive board to their allotted committee halls. For UNFCCC COP, please follow Swapnil to Kaveri Hall. The other committee members to kindly remain seated.
I just want to say one thing that I forgot to mention, that at 4 p.m. we have Women in Energy Roundtable discussion. And I wish that all of the dignitaries, if you can be here, all those who are present now can be there at that time also, because we have people participating now from 11 countries. The very who's who people are going to be there on this hybrid mode. Here we will have 8 of the ladies here, and rest of them would be from the, people from Muscat, from Nigeria, from London, from Nairobi, various places. They are Finland, they are joining from various places. So it would be an interesting discussion to see that how women can play a wonderful role in energy, but it is also this roundtables discussion would go to Ministry of Power as a white paper. So it would be wonderful to listen to everybody and just see that how can we make it happen. So I just wanted to make this announcement as well. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. UNFCCC COP candidates and executive board members, please go ahead with Swapnil Jha. Swapnil Jha is over there. Other committees, please remain seated.